before that, in 2016, Carla Dawson's world turned upside down when her one-year-old daughter, Jorja-Rose, was diagnosed with a rare brain tumour.
Well, as Carla's community in Nottingham pulled together to fundraise for life-saving treatment, Carla was unaware that she was being targeted by Chanel Bailey, a sick scammer who exploited Carla's family and stole money raised for Jorja-Rose's treatment.
Well, Carla joins us now to tell us her story, and it's lovely to have you here.
Yeah,
And I'm
it really
sorry
is.
it's under these circumstances. Thank you for coming. And so, Jorja-Rose was born in 2015, seemed perfectly healthy baby. When did you spot that there was something not right here?
It was in March 2016. She just started waking up in the morning and being sick. And so I took her to the doctors, and she was really, started to be really tired. She just changed. So, like I say, we took her backwards and forwards to the doctors, and they thought she had an ear infection. But then, obviously, she just got worse. And
Well, Mum, you knew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you took her to go and get further scans, and that's when it showed up that she had this tumour on the brain.
Yeah.
And so then the treatment unfolds, and she went under 8 rounds of chemotherapy. She had stem cell treatment, really tough on a small body, and she was incredibly brave throughout it all. And by 2017, in February, she got the all clear.
Yeah. So she rang the end of treatment bell, and so we were told that the cancer hadn't gone, but it had stabilised, and it had shrunk down really small. So, yeah, we rang the end of treatment bell, and she was put on 3 monthly scans. And she was doing really well until she woke up one morning and said, "Mummy, my head hurts." And, yeah, I knew from then it had come back.
Yeah. Well, you went on holiday, and you were getting married to Lee,
Yeah.
and she was going to be a bridesmaid.
Yeah, she was a bridesmaid.
At the wedding, and that's when she said, I'm getting headaches.
Yeah.
And you knew that it had come back, and then it's sort of get the diagnosis that it has happened again. She was too weak to go through chemo.
Yeah.
And you start looking at, as everybody would, quite rightly, other areas. Is there something else we can do? And there was a trial in Germany.
Yeah,
Wasn't there?
trial, but it wasn't available on NHS. So our team told us, they will start speaking with them, but maybe we should start a bit of fundraising. So that's what... Really, I didn't have much to do with the fundraising. It was my amazing friends and family and my neighbours, and everyone just pulled together. It was really, it was amazing.
Well, an overwhelming outpouring of love, really, of
Yeah.
people not knowing what to do, actually just trying to do something and fundraise and help. And this is when Chanel Bailey first reached out. And she tried to sort of bond with you straight away. For somebody that wasn't really a friend and somebody you didn't really know, when you were talking about shaving your head for Macmillan, she said she'd do it with you. So she really sort of got in
I did
there.
think she was a bit strange, but then I thought maybe she just had a few boundary issues, and I just didn't see what everyone else was seeing. A lot of people said her behaviour was strange, but I just didn't. I'm not a judgmental person. I just didn't want to see any bad. I didn't think anyone would do anything like that.
In what way did she reach out? How did she get herself involved?
She just kept sending messages. One time she even turned up at the hospital, and it was just really strange. She would tell people she was my sister.
When she came to the hospital, because you said, even your friends would say, "Is it OK if we pop in today?" But she just
came, yeah.
Did she ask to take photos?
Yeah, she asked to take photos, and George was really poor at that point as well. So I just didn't want to be rude. So really, I should have just said, well, no. But in the end, I just said, oh, do you mind leaving? But it was really strange. Yeah.
There was this walk at the local pub, and this was a fundraising event, and there was some talk at the time when everybody got back to the pub afterwards to have a drink. There were sort of collection boxes on all the tables, and some money went missing.
Yeah.
And some of your friends said that they'd seen her take the money, and this is going to become quite key to the end of this story, isn't it? This money disappearing.
Yeah. Everyone says that she took money, and she was adamant that she hadn't. And to be fair, all of our attention was just on Jorja. To be fair, I thought I had not much to do with the fundraising. It was somebody else that had arranged all of it. So, yeah, and she was just really adamant that she hadn't done it. And I just didn't want to think about it, really. I just thought, right, concentrate on Jorja.
Absolutely, I can understand that.
Well, tragically, Jorja-Rose did lose her battle, and she died in the October. And she was concerned, Chanel was concerned that she hadn't been invited to the funeral. She was posting pictures on Facebook, wasn't she?
Yeah. One of my friends got really upset with her because she'd taken a photo of Georgia off my Facebook, quite a personal one, and, like, reposted it and made out like she was there and she was all heartbroken. So, yeah, and she said, am I allowed to come to the funeral? And at that time, my head had gone, and I don't think I even replied to her, and that was it. I'd never heard from her again after that.
So then you get this really strange phone call from the Jeremy Kyle show. So just explain that.
That was when Georgia was still alive. I got a call just saying, Chanel wants you to come on the show and do a lie detector test to prove that she didn't take the money. And at the time, I was quite angry, just because I'd contacted Jeremy Kyle show to try and raise awareness for Georgia and for children with brain tumours, and I didn't have any response, but then obviously they rang me about that, and I just said, no, I'm not interested.
Then you get on with your life. You've got, you know, other children, so you want to make sure they're OK, and life carries on as much as you can with, you know, having such a hole left with Jorja-Rose not there. But you continue with life, and then you get a phone call from the police.
Just saying that they brought Chanel's name up, said they was investigating her. She had done it to another family, took even more from them. And then they just said that they'd heard that she had also taken from Georgia. And I think somewhere down the line she was found with one of Georgia's yellow charity tubs. And obviously the bright yellow, so you can't really mistake them. And, yeah, it was found out that she had taken money from Georgia's fund as well.
And so they asked you if you wanted to press charges, and you did?
Yeah. Just because I think she'd done it to me, well, to Georgia, and maybe that was like a momentary lapse of judgment. Maybe it was just something she didn't think about and she did it. But then she went on and did it again to this
I feel like you're
other
still
family.
trying to make excuses for her. I feel like you're still trying to find the good in someone because you can't believe how
Well, I
bad
just
it
can't
is.
believe why would anybody do that?
I know. Yeah,
Well, I mean, she had scammed this other family out of nearly £1,000 that was meant to go towards their late young daughter's headstone through a Just Giving page that Chanel had set up. As Holly said, you are a very forgiving person. But how do you feel towards her now? Because she appeared in Nottingham Crown Court for sentencing on the 23rd of May, pleaded guilty to fraud, sentenced to 2 years and 3 months for stealing the money that she took from both families. How do you feel?
I don't really know. I thought I'd be really happy, and I kept saying I wanted to go to jail, but it's still done. I know she's going to be punished for it. I hope she never, ever would do it. It will teach her and she won't do it again. But still, I let her near my baby when my baby was so poorly, and it's something... I think it's just something as a mum. I think, oh, why was I so trusting?
I think your head was elsewhere on something like
Yeah.
that, wasn't it? Yeah.
What you have done, though, since then, and to keep her memory alive and so that she can live on by helping others, you've set up the Jorja-Rose Foundation. And a lot of the money that you raise from this goes into research, because I think only 5% of cancer funding goes towards brain tumours. So
It's even less than that. It's 2.33%, so it's like the tiniest portion. So, yeah, we want to try and raise money for more funding, and it's awareness. I always think that if I had seen somewhere the signs and symptoms of a brain tumour, I would have put it together when Georgia was having those when she was ill. I mean, they're from, obviously, headaches, but Georgia was so little she couldn't tell me headaches, but it's early morning sickness, rapid eye movements, head tilted to one side, really lethargic and drowsy, losing balance. And these are the things I just think, if I get them out there, and maybe like today somebody might be watching and their child might have that, and if we can help one more child to get an earlier diagnosis, because that is the key in it. You need to catch it early and then crack on with your treatment. And the diagnosis times, for most people, it's like about 6 weeks, and you're backwards and forwards to doctors, because what doctors tend to do, they start at the lesser what it could be and then work the way up, which I don't understand why they wouldn't start from the top and then, do you know what I mean? Eliminate all the worst of things.
Especially in small children.
Yeah. I mean, she couldn't tell us what was wrong. It was more like, I think this is wrong with her. And obviously the way she was holding her head, and now I think I'll be able to spot. She had hydrocephalus, which is a build-up of pressure in the brain. So now I think I'll be able to spot that a mile off now.
Well, the thing is also that maybe that awareness should also, you know, sort of help GPs to spot it, because as a mum you knew something was wrong. The GPs missed it for some considerable time, and because you kept pressuring and saying, you know, there is something wrong here, as a mum would know. And so maybe, you know, what you're doing with the foundation will also raise awareness for them as well, because they missed it in the early stages. Good luck with that. It's an amazing thing that you're doing with the foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is the Jorja-Rose Foundation. So a good mention now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Love to the family as well. Okay.
Yeah.